We're going to talk now about The Deer Hunter, one of the most important American movies of recent years, and also one of the most emotionally overpowering. It's about the war in Vietnam, but it isn't really for the war, and it's not against the war. It's more about how the war entered into the lives of a lot of Americans and changed some of them forever. It begins early one morning when a crowd of good friends finish up with an all-night shift at the steel mill, go to have a few beers at the saloon down the street, and this is going to be a big day for them. It's their last day at work. They've enlisted in the Army, and one of them is going to get married in a few hours. You can tell which one the groom is when his mother comes in and hauls him off the bar stool. I spent Saturday night like that myself. That sort of camaraderie, that singing along and hanging out and sticking together, is developed in a long and brilliant wedding scene. We saw a fragment of it at the beginning of the show, and there's a real sense of celebration there, a real community. But then The Deer Hunter cuts abruptly to the reality of Vietnam and to a prisoner of war camp where the Viet Cong is forcing American and South Vietnamese prisoners to play Russian roulette while they gamble on who will be the first to blow his brains out. For Robert De Niro and his friends, the time for singing is over. That's Christopher Walken, and the other one of the three friends is played by John Savage. The physical pain and mental dread is so real there that it gives you an idea of the impact this movie has. It's not just a war story, it's not just a movie, it's an experience. It's one that touches people in the audience so deeply that some of them can't take it. They've got to turn their eyes away from the screen, and I couldn't really blame them. The Deer Hunter isn't a perfect film. It raises some questions it doesn't answer. It's got some loose ends, but logic and perfection aren't what you look for in a movie that basically exists on the level of emotion and raw human feeling, and it's been a long time, Gene, since a movie has affected me so deeply.
It got to me, too. Very powerful. I think what I admire most about this picture is its sheer size. Mm-hmm. This is a really big film on the level of The Godfather. Big films in America normally mean exploding buildings. This is a film of very powerful ideas, strong personalities. The first hour of this 3-hour movie is all about this steel town and the people who inhabit it. It's really a loving portrait of working-class people. If the film had ended there, it would have been a great movie.
You're right.
Then we get to Vietnam, and in about 30 minutes, this director, Michael Cimino, compresses the Vietnam combat experience. You just showed a clip on that prisoner of war sequence. Well, now we have another clip, because after escaping from that prisoner of war camp, Christopher Walken, in a memorable scene, sums up what a lot of combat veterans must feel. At a hospital in Vietnam, Walken is totally in shock. He won an Academy Award nomination for his performance, and this is the scene that probably did it. That's powerful stuff, and it's impressive, Christopher Walken there. It's impressive seeing him develop some real feeling by not talking. He's just one of the fresh faces in the film. I was really impressed by the picture. It's like seeing a big novel or reading a big novel. Very impressive.
Kind of like The Godfather, which also had De Niro in it, I guess, in The Godfather Part 2. A real gallery of characters, a lot of depth. You know, a lot of people have asked me, okay, wonderful, the film got 9 Academy Award nominations, Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor. How come it isn't playing in my town? Because in most of the United States, it's only now opening. And that was the result of a decision by Universal, the studio that made it. They didn't know if America was ready yet for a big, heavy 3-hour drama about the Vietnam experience, and so they opened the picture in Los Angeles and New York to get the Oscar nominations. Now they've got the nominations. Now the picture is opening throughout the country, and I think we're in agreement on this, that it is the picture to see right now. We do agree, though, that The Deer Hunter is one of the finest films of the year. 2 strong yeses for that one. Don't miss it.
But the Vietnam movie that probably had the greatest impact on the public arrived late in 1978. Michael Cimino's The Deer Hunter, which focused on the effects of the war on 5 young men who worked in a Pennsylvania steel town. 3 of the men, Robert De Niro, John Savage, and Christopher Walken, went off to war, and when these 3 steel workers were taken prisoner in Vietnam, they found a war more brutal than anything they had ever experienced. What The Deer Hunter did so well, I think, was make us care, first, about a number of characters, and then have them be crippled, brutally killed, or psychologically maimed in some way by the war. Now, you know, as much as the conventional wisdom has it that it was television news that really brought the war home to America, I think after we see a film like The Deer Hunter, that reminds us that unless we had actually been over there, or lived with someone who had been over there, we had very little idea, with all the TV news, of the war's true savagery.
That's true, and if you talk about the savagery of the war, I think the image in The Deer Hunters that really brought it home to us was that Russian roulette image that we saw a little bit of there. And in the movie, you actually do see the brutality of people being shot in the head.
At close range,
At close range with Russian roulette. Well, a lot of people said, well, that's too violent. Well, I think it's okay to have violence in a war movie. I don't know how you can make one without violence. But also people said, well, it's not accurate. They didn't really play Russian roulette over there. And I rejected that, too. I really do, because it seems to me that was a compact image that the director was able to use in order to condense the enormity of the violence. And where I think he got it was from that famous photograph of the public execution. The two Vietnamese, one with a pistol up to the other one's temple. The scene that we saw in Life magazine, the scene that we saw just now, had that very same kind of framing.
So in The Deer Hunter, its contribution is the violence. This was not a game. People were really getting nailed at close range. Number two, I think it showed us who fought the war, or at least a part of it. The people who fought the war were young black kids from the city and white working class kids. This film focused on the white working class kids. And we really got close to these people. We see them drinking in a pool hall. We see them have a wedding. We see them go on a hunting trip. These kids thought they were going on another hunting trip to Vietnam. And in one of the most remarkable edits, one of the most remarkable transitions in this film, we cut from them in the home in Pennsylvania to bang, right into Vietnam. It shocked us. It's a terrific film. A lot of people have been backing away from this picture. You liked it, I guess. I liked it a real lot.
And I still stand behind it. I think it was a great picture, no matter what some people now say the second time around.
Yeah.
And if The Deer Hunter went to great lengths to establish the real-life origin of its characters, Michael Cimino's The Deer Hunter